which is still 400 yards away.
I'm told that Angkor Wat literally translates to city temple, as it used to be surrounded by an urban landscape that has long since disappeared. Simon works for the GACP, a German conservation project. Its mission is to save this Cambodian jewel from the ravages of time, weather, and human contact. I'm hoping that Simon can help me understand how such a masterpiece could be built and then abandoned. Angkor Wat is in fact the world's largest religious monument. That statement alone grabs your attention, but to see it is to believe it. The path leading ever upwards is a demanding journey, with stairways connecting different terraces on different levels.
Finally, the center of the temple. It looks like I still have to head up there. Originally, it was a priest who would come up these steps, and they're definitely meant to be steep because they represent the difficulty of getting into the kingdom of heaven. Simon!
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right, come on up.
It's right through there?
Through the door, and I'll meet you at the bottom of the scaffolding, okay?
All right. Can you imagine coming this way to work every day? Hey, Simon.
Hi, great to see you.
I covered some serious ground to make it up here to you.
Oh yeah, but it was worth it.
Oh, I cannot believe this is your office.
Angkor Wat.
The greatest religious monument in the world.
The magnitude of this place is truly hard to grasp. Angkor Wat tops out at 213 feet, making it as high as Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. And it holds as much stone as the Great Pyramid of Khufu.
And how long did all of this take?
Well, that's what's so incredible. It only took 32 years to build.
I think if we were to build something like this today, it would take us longer than 30 years.
No question. If you compare that with the buildings in Europe, like cathedrals, some of which are much smaller than this, they took 300-400 years.
So 10 times the length of time it took to build all of this.
Right, and there's a lot more stone here. You know,
Simon tells me that it took 50,000 workers to build this extraordinary temple. It's surrounded by a 4-mile moat and crowned by 5 huge towers. But size doesn't begin to measure the real power of Angkor Wat.
Well, I've been coming here now since 1994, which is a long time. And you know, every time I come in, I see something new, something different. It's so varied, so complicated, so...
Virtually every surface in this temple is covered with exquisite carvings. Surprisingly, these stories come from a faith that originated in India, far across the sea.
Incredibly sophisticated, this carving. And they're telling stories from Hindu mythology up here.
But how does the Hindu faith arrive in Southeast Asia? Because we're 2,000 miles away from India.
Well, religion...
It turns out, the answer lies in the monsoon winds that carried seafaring Indian traders to the Mekong Delta. Marooned for months before they could ride the monsoons home again, they traveled upriver, passing their religion, art, and architecture onto the local people.
The religious community were trying to communicate with people who couldn't read. So they put these images and the stories on the wall so that the people could understand it.
What are some of the stories that are being told?
Well, this is very interesting. This is an image that you'll find on religious buildings around the world. It's the Last Judgment.
Now, I noticed that some of these guys have their faces carved out or destroyed.
This figure's particularly unpopular. He's the administrator who actually gives out the sentence. So he's the sort of prison guard who says, you're going to hell.
It's not looking too pleasant down there.
It's hell. There's 32 different types of hell as well.
So is that a superstitious thing over the years that people have come in and destroyed the faces of the demons?
That's the local people just saying, bad, bad, I don't like him, bad, bad.
Simon tells me that these bas-relief carvings go on for more than half a mile. They're the longest continuous sculptures in the world. It's an awesome sight, but one that may not last.